Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Still Monday, December the 1st, second video of the day. Earlier on, I saw a video from Boxing King Media, that's it. And they were interviewing Oleksandr Usyk, who apparently is on vacation in Thailand. Good for him. Anyways, the interview was, I don't know, 20 minutes long or so. But and there's only really one thing that I found really interesting. I mean, Oleksandr Usyk did talk a little bit about, he gave up the WBO belt because he's tired. He's got this injury, niggling injury. He said how he fought Tyson Fury twice and then trained for Dubois, just happy to defend his belts, but just needed more time. And I guess that time wasn't forthcoming, so he passed the belts on to Fabio Wardley. He was asked, were you surprised that Fabio Wardley beat Joseph Parker? And Usyk said he wasn't. He wasn't surprised at all. He said that he'd spent time working with Fabio Wardley, and we know that. Fabio Wardley had been brought over to train with Oleksandr Usyk ahead of one of Usyk's fights some years ago. And Usyk said that he was impressed with Fabio Wardley. He'd spent a tremendous amount of time training his body, training his mind. He said it was amazing that he did so well. No amateur fights, I think 4 or 5 amateur fights. And he said, Fabio Wardley's a great fighter, very complimentary. But the bit that I found interesting was that Usyk, is going to carry on fighting. And he was asked by the interviewer, who you're looking forward to fight the most. And I think most of us might have said a trilogy with Tyson Fury. Some of us might have said, when I'm fit, I would come back and fight Fabio Wardley. That would have made him 3-time heavyweight undisputed. Some of us might have thought, young Moses, Itoma. But the words that came out of Oleksandr Usyk's mouth kind of surprised me, because he was very clear, and he wasn't joking. He was very clear that he wants to fight Deontay Wilder. And the interviewer seemed a little bit surprised as well. Certainly as this listener was surprised. And Oleksandr Usyk made the point that Deontay Wilder was, a long-time champion, one of the top heavyweights of the last 10 years. And as he was speaking, it sort of made sense to me. Because if you're Oleksandr Usyk, and you're looking for that real sort of, armor plating my legacy type deal, well, you've beaten Tyson Fury twice. You've beaten Anthony Joshua twice. You've beaten Daniel Dubois twice. So you beat 2 out of the big 3 twice, and you beat this sort of up-and-coming new champion twice. But the third leg of that sort of championship triumvirate of the last 10 years was Deontay Wilder. Now, many of us would say that Deontay Wilder, 2 things we would say. One, he was overrated, well-managed, and the only time that he actually really was tested by somebody was by Tyson Fury, and he lost 2 out of 3 to Tyson Fury. The first was a draw, and he got comprehensively beaten the other 2. And then, of course, he's gone on to lose against Joseph Parker and Zhilei Zhang. So we would say probably he was overrated, and now he's a shot fighter. That's what most people would say. I'm not sure what most Americans would say. Most Americans, I think, might view Deontay Wilder as, well, the best American heavyweight of the last 10 years. That's for sure. But I'm not sure if there is the same degree of he was overrated and he's shot amongst a more casual, broad-based audience as there is amongst those of us who sort of get into the weeds on heavyweight boxing. So from Oleksandr Usyk's perspective, putting to bed any lingering doubt or any lingering question would make sense. I beat Fury, I beat Joshua, I beat Wilder. Those were the three kings of the era that I came into when I was moving up from cruiserweight to heavyweight. And, people could argue about, well, did you beat these people at their prime? But then, he could flip it around and say, well, hey, listen, I'm not in my prime anymore. And let's get to that. Oleksandr Usyk will be 39 in January. Deontay Wilder's 40. So they're both past their prime, but you meet your opponents where you meet them, right? Deontay Wilder's record, 44 wins. The 4 losses we've talked about, 2 against Fury, 1 against Parker, 1 against Zhang. The 1 draw against Fury. But you're still left with 44 wins, 43 by knockout. And the other was Chris Arreola, who we forced to retire. So, them's the facts, right? You can pick the bones about, he was lucky to stop so-and-so, Luis Ortiz had the better of him and he was lucky to stop him, or he fought these nobodies. You can talk about that all you like, but the fact remains that he won 44 fights, 43 by way of. Stopped everybody, or caused somebody to retire, of everybody he ever fought that he won against. Usyk is quite adamant that this is a serious thing. He wasn't joking. And when he was asked, well, okay, Wilder's the first on your list, who's number 2 on your list? He doesn't have a number 2 on his list. So I kind of see Usyk's point. It would probably sell well, especially in America, where Wilder's name still resonates. And there is jeopardy, for sure. I mean, we could say, well, Wilder isn't the man he was. And I think that's right. He isn't. We could also say, well, he never was as good as people thought he was. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. But if he can unleash that one right hand, that's a very significant weapon to have in your arsenal. So I would say that if this fight went ahead, I would put Usyk as a prohibitive favorite. But he's only got to be hit once by that big right hand. Now, could Wilder land that big right hand? I very much doubt it. I just said I would put Usyk as a prohibitive favorite. But would it be an interesting fight? I think so. I mean, honestly, I'm more interested in seeing Usyk and Wilder than I am in seeing Usyk Fury 3. Because I've seen that movie. I've not seen this movie. I think I know how this movie's going to go, but I'd still rather see this than see a retread of a retread. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Should Usyk fight Wilder? Is there any point in Usyk fighting Wilder? Can you see Usyk's perspective on this? Who do you think would win? And anything else you have to say. So, there we go. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next video. Cheers. Bye-bye.